Hi everyone, my name is Jill Oberly and I'm a professional counselor at Kara's House. And I get to work on the Kara's Kids team, which means I get to meet with kiddos and teens and parents for counseling sessions. The last time I was on a video, I was able to share with you all the concepts of dysregulation and regulation. And I was able to share with you this really helpful visual tool that we can think about ourselves like an engine. That when I'm running in the blue or when I'm running in the red, that means I'm dysregulated. But when I'm running in the green, that means that I'm regulated and I feel just right. And ideally, we would love to spend most of our days in the green because it's when we're in the green, that's when we feel focused, we feel calm and connected and attuned to the world around us. But how do we get to the green? Or how do we stay in the green if we're there? Those are kinds of the questions that we're going to be thinking through today. So a great place to start is to really think about your basic needs. Think about your food and your water intake. So we would actually recommend that you and your family are eating a meal or a snack about every 2 hours. We really want to focus on how to proactively regulate blood sugar levels. Because what we know is that our brain actually uses 60% of our glucose levels in order to function. So if our blood sugar levels are dysregulated, that means that our brain is actually not going to be able to operate functionally. Then we also want to consider our water intake. So dehydration is actually linked to a lot of behavioral issues in our kiddos. So think about ways that you can incorporate drinking water throughout the day. Maybe you let your kiddos pick out a fun water bottle that they can keep close to them. Or maybe you actually schedule in family water breaks throughout the day so that you all are drinking enough water. So consider your basic needs. That's a great place to start. Next, start to think about how to get your body moving. We would recommend that you and your kiddos are moving your bodies about every 2 hours during the day. Now, if you're feeling like you're in the red, or maybe your kiddos are in the red, so you're feeling anxious or angry or irritated, consider activities or movement that are actually calming, that are going to bring you to the green. So maybe do some yoga, go for a family walk. Something you can actually do right now in your chair is you can do what we call a chair pull-up. So you take your hands, you place them under the seat of your chair, and you pull up and hold for about 10 seconds. That's going to give you some really great sensory input that's very calming for your nervous system. Now you can do the opposite actually, and you can place your hands on the top of your chair and do a chair push-up where you push your body up and hold for 10 seconds. Again, giving you some really great sensory input there. Now, if your body is in the blue, or you're feeling like you're in the blue, so you're feeling sleepy or lethargic or a little bit depressed, it's important to do activities that are alerting or going to be energy boosting. So things like going for a run, having a family dance party, playing red light, green light, all of those types of activities where your heart rate is kind of becoming elevated are going to be helpful in getting you back to the green. Okay, so we've considered your basic needs, we've considered movement. Now it's important to consider how to structure our environment in order to provide regulation. So a helpful way to think through that is actually through our 5 senses. So let's start with sight. Does your home feel too visually overstimulating? If so, maybe now is a good time to start to declutter. Or maybe you schedule in moments in the day where you are tidying up toys, where your kids need to pick up the toys, right? Anything that's going to help with that visual input. Next, let's think about sound. Our houses can get really loud really quickly these days with our kiddos at home. If that's the case for you, maybe you need to create some sort of calming room or a calming corner where you or your kiddos can go if they just need a break, right? Where they could listen to calming music or put on noise-canceling headphones, a place where there is just minimal kind of auditory input. Next, let's think about smell. So we've all been cooped up in our houses. Maybe it's starting to feel a little musty in there. Maybe it's time to open up a window, get some fresh air in, or light a candle or diffuse some oils. Anything that's really going to be helpful when we think about smell. Next, let's think about touch. So maybe you need to wrap yourself in a cozy blanket or a weighted blanket. Maybe you need to have some stress balls or fidgets around your house, anything to get some really good tactile input. Next, think about taste. So are you eating foods that you enjoy? Did you actually know that if you are in the red, eating foods that are sweet are actually calming and will bring you to the green, excuse me. Or if you're in the blue, eating foods that are sour are alerting and will bring you into the green. So really be thinking about regulation and your environment. How can you structure your environment in order to help you regulate? Okay, lastly, and most importantly, the best way that you can regulate and bring yourself to the green is to think about if you are feeling connected in relationships. So, are you feeling connected to your spouse or your partner? Are you feeling connected to your kiddos? Are you feeling connected to your extended family and friends? What are the ways that you can promote connection in relationship during this season? Do you need to have meals together at home with your family? Do you need to schedule Skype or Zoom calls or FaceTime calls with friends or extended family outside of your home? It's really important that we prioritize and make sure that we are feeling connected in this season, because that is actually going to be very helpful in bringing us to the green. Okay, so I've given you a lot of ideas, and you might be feeling a little dysregulated after hearing so much information. But I would just encourage you to maybe choose one thing I shared with you today that you can implement this week. Just try one thing for yourself or your family and see how it works. I appreciate you guys staying with me today and look forward to more videos in the future.